Hi and welcome to my channel. Please, if you get like anxiety about like listening to anxiety things or hearing about diseases or things like that, please don't watch this video. It might be triggering some people. I am in my pajamas, so I am sorry, but I kind of thought that this thing that I'm gonna talk to you about today, it would be okay if I am in pajamas because it kind of fits for my like thoughts and stuff. So yeah, I'm in my pajamas, so I'm sorry. And I also don't have any makeup on. I wanted to talk to you about this because that's why I just had like only my outfit of today video up yesterday. I was gonna film, but I had the worst day, so I couldn't film like at all. But you know, today I'm gonna talk to you about my anxiety and my panic attacks and the general how it goes for me. I don't know, everyone's panic attacks and anxiety attacks are like quite different, and I was reading about this like conversation in internet last night, and when someone said, oh, I lose my memory a bit or start to like seeing stuff when I get an panic attack, and other people were saying like, no, that's not a panic attack, you should go to the doctor again. And I was kind of like, no, you never tell anybody that that is not a part of their... Well, of course the reader were like, oh no, do I have something else, you know, got really scared about that. But yeah, everyone's panic attacks and anxiety attacks are really different. Like some people ask me, why are you in this like modeling business if you have like anxiety? And for me, being on the stage and being like modeling in front of camera and stuff like that usually doesn't give me anxiety. Usually I am pretty like okay with it, and I don't get panic attacks or anything when I'm on the stage. I feel really good. But sometimes when you don't have like the good chemistry with the like a photographer or someone else in the place, and I go home, I get an anxiety or panic attack, because for me the biggest thing is that I start to think about what people might think about me and talk about me to other people, so that gives me great anxiety. Anyway, last night I was having like the worst anxiety, well actually from the beginning of the day, because when I woke up I had a bad dream in the night, and actually two. And when I have a bad dream I start to like think that this is gonna happen somehow, because for me that has been the case for quite many times now, and that got worse after my dad dying. As I said in my paranormal tag, after my dad died everything just escalated, so I'm like getting really anxious for those things. So from the beginning of the day I was feeling really anxious, and then I had like a talk with my friend and she was feeling anxious, and then it just snowballed, and then in the evening I got like the feeling that people don't really appreciate the things that I do or me, or they hate me, or you know, whatever. So that's when my anxiety like hit the roof, and I started crying and throwing stuff, and I didn't have a panic attack, but I was like feeling really anxious and crying, and I was supposed to film a video, but I really couldn't after that because it went downhill fast. So I decided that I might do a video for you about my anxiety and my panic attacks, because I thought that maybe this could be helpful for someone who's like having this kind of things, or thinking about like trying to do something that they dream about, and you know, not being brave enough to do that because they have anxiety, or just if you have watched my videos and being like, oh, she has anxiety, and what kind of anxiety does she have, or anything, blah blah blah. So I was gonna talk to you about my anxiety a bit more today. So I have anxiety and I have panic attacks, and I have like mood swings of some sort. And I've had like anxiety from when I was really small, and panic attack and mood swings since I had the eating disorder. I'm gonna tell you about that also later sometime when I feel like it, but that's a completely different idea, the thing anyway. So and that's gonna be a really long video, so I decided that maybe I'm just gonna talk to you about the anxiety part because it's still there. So yeah, I started having anxiety the first time I remember having anxiety, and like a kind of a small panic attack when I was like a small kid. I remember I was sitting on this, like, I don't know what you call it, where children sit in the car, like they're higher up. Anyway, so I was sitting on that in the front of the car, and my dad was driving, and I don't remember what we were talking about. I don't remember the thing, but I remember that I got really upset about something and I started crying, and then I realized that I felt like I'm not me. I'm like watching myself, and I couldn't like get any oxygen. I was like hyperventilating like really badly, and my dad was like, oh, stop it, because of course he had never seen anything like that before, because he didn't have panic attacks. So I was like and he was like, stop it, stop playing, and blah blah blah. And I remember just not being able to have oxygen, and I was like I'm trying. Well, anyway, that was the first time I remember having anxiety, but I used to have like really bad anxiety all the time. I don't know why that is. I think I was quite sensitive as a kid, and also I was bullied at school and stuff like that. But yeah, anyway, I think I'm like kind of a sensitive person anyway. When we were I was anxious about stuff like if someone wasn't home, I was like maybe 12 years old already, and when someone wasn't home, I would sit, like if I had school the next day, I would still sit in the middle of the night like waiting for someone to come home. Like my mom used to work in a bar, so I would sit there and wait for her to come home, like it was 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, and I couldn't sleep because no one was at home. I was feeling so anxious, like really anxious. I don't know why. I don't remember like having these thoughts that something would happen or anything. I would just feel like abandoned, like I don't want to be alone. And being alone was a problem for me like for a really long time. I kind of got through it the first time I moved to like live by myself. That's when I like started to liking being by myself. But before that, when I was alone, I was feeling anxious all the time. I would feel anxious about, well, usually when I was a kid or a teenager, it was about, you know, being left alone, you know what I mean, or being like alone. I don't know if that's about because of my like bullying or something, I don't know. And then when I got the eating disorder, the anxiety, like it blew off the limits. It became huge. I remember that I couldn't like go to certain shops because for some reason I was starting to feel like really anxious, and I only wanted to be at home. Of course, this is also part of eating disorder, that you get like anxious and stuff like that. But I kind of started having these panic attacks. I couldn't like go somewhere. I would feel like if I go there I'll die, and stuff like that. I would feel just awful. I would like go for these long walks, and I would just walk, and I couldn't remember where I had been before, because I would just walk around blah blah blah, and I would usually like I was living in my head quite a lot, like dreaming about stuff, so I wouldn't get anxious. So yeah, but now when I've been having anxiety attacks, and I've had panic attacks after that for some time, and for some time they were really bad, and then I had my medication, which I do use because for me that helps a lot. If I don't use it, I get really bad panic attacks. Some doctor has said, don't quote me, but that it's something about, you know, like brain chemistry, because I didn't have something enough in my brain when I was having eating disorder, I don't know, and I don't get enough serotonin or something, I don't know. The medication helps me. It took some time to find the right medication. At first they gave me this medication which made me completely bonkers. I would go like, I would be like crying, and then after 2 seconds I would be laughing like ah. That medication wasn't the right for me, but the medication I'm using now, it doesn't even alter my own personality. I'm just me, but like not with so much anxiety. So a year ago my dad died, and after that I've had like the worst anxiety of my life and worst panic attacks of my life. They started actually in the summertime. My husband was gonna leave to this fishing trip and I was gonna stay home alone. And I started like hearing this. I was left home alone and they started to drive there to the fishing trip. And I started hearing these voices like screaming inside my head, and I started to get anxious, and I was like, God, I can't deal with it. And I couldn't, my husband didn't answer the phone because they were driving, of course, and he didn't hear. So I started like thinking about that he might have died and now I'm alone and oh my God. And so when I got him on the phone, I just told him, okay, I'm just gonna drive there. Wait for me, I'm gonna drive there and we're gonna go together because I can't handle being by myself. And after that, like I had a really busy like autumn time or fall time, whichever word you use. And always like I had a thing going on and I would do the work and like I would like get anxiety and I would like cry. Actually I didn't cry. I wasn't crying a lot. I was like and I started to have like panic attacks, and I have never had this thing because people usually have like they lose the feeling on their hands and they think they're like having a heart attack or something, and they feel like this thing on their like chest, like crushing their chest. I had never had that before. My panic and anxiety attacks were different. So this time I had that and I was like really, I thought I was gonna die. I didn't call an ambulance or anything. I was like, okay, I'm just gonna die here and follow my dad or something. But then I actually called the doctor and they told me to like take my blood pressure and stuff like that, and my blood pressure was off the roof. My heart was bouncing. Like in the Christmas this year I had the worst anxiety and panic attacks ever, and then I had to take like a break for a month because everything like social media stuff and Facebook stuff and YouTube stuff and everything like would make me so anxious. I had to take my WhatsApp off my phone because I couldn't get any messages. Like if I got a message in the middle of the night, I would think that something is wrong and I would start to do something, panic and stuff like that, and that would make me like stress so bad and have some bad anxiety. And then I started having this, I've had like insomnia before, but then I started having this kind of insomnia that I wouldn't sleep during the night, but I would sleep the whole day, and it was horrible. But I just took a break in the Christmas time and just tried to gather myself, but I'm still having like really bad anxiety, and every time something happens, like what makes me feel like I'm the worst person ever, or I can't do this, or I'm stupid and I'm like an idiot, I would get like really bad anxiety, and that's what happened last night. Really long story. I was just gonna tell this story like really quickly, but it seems that I have a lot to tell you. About my anxiety, I was gonna tell you what kind of anxiety, like what it means to me, because some people it's different and for me it's different. So the weird stuff that happens when I have anxiety and panic attacks, I had another message which made me really anxious and sad, as you can see. So I tried to, I don't know if you saw that in the last part, that I got really anxious about something. I don't know, I'm eager to see if something happens to my body when I get anxious. I don't know if I'm ever gonna even like have this video out because of this, but we'll see. I'm just gonna take some vitamins now. So I just deleted my WhatsApp once again, so I could be like left alone for a while, so no one would like even try to contact me through that. So my cat woke up also, so she's screaming. When I get my anxiety, the weird stuff what happens when I get anxiety is that my chest starts to feel like I'm having a heart attack or something. I don't know how it feels when you're having a heart attack, but anyway. And my hands get like, I don't feel my hands anymore. That happens usually these days. Then I also think that I'm like dying or something, like I can't get any breath, like I'm hyperventilating, and that's usually how it starts. I sometimes start to cry and then I can't get any breath, like and I get really anxious, and yeah, then I'm also thinking that I'm gonna die. When I have a panic attack, my whole body goes stiff. Usually I'm just laying down like, and my every muscle gets like really stiff. I can't even talk. If someone tries to talk to me, I can't answer them. Sometimes I get like violent towards myself. Like I sometimes take my nails and push them into my like skin or something, and then I get the feeling like I'm not myself, I'm just watching myself, or I can understand what is going on but I can't do anything. Like I'm like telling myself, stop that, that's stupid, stop that. I'm getting anxious inside my head. My body just, it won't work. Also when I'm really anxious, for a long time my, jaw muscles get really tight. My whole face starts to hurt. And also when I sleep I grind my teeth like. Things that make me anxious are like, some of them, like people being insensitive towards me or something happening, being in a car, being in a plane, being in a bus, traveling, weird situations or weird people, like when I'm in a cafe and I see someone coming to the cafe and he looks suspicious for me for some reason that makes me really anxious. Also if I try to call someone who is like really close to me and I can't get them on the phone, so I get really anxious. Seeing the nightmares, being outside in the winter time, I think that I'm gonna get sick. I have this weird thing with my like hearing. I get anxious when there's lots of people in one room and then the music is playing. I get really anxious when I have to talk to someone and the music is playing. My ears start to hurt. And that's why I don't really like to go in a bar. And in a bar I'm like yelling all the time. Wait, I'll just give food for the cat. I'm back! Okay, so it's obvious I'm having really a lot of trouble filming this video, but I'm really eager to do it because I want people to know how it is. Because usually, like being depressed and stuff like that, people think that having that kind of things is like a teenage thing, like you're a teenager, that will pass and something like that. So I kind of wanted to like talk about it like real straightforward to you, because I know some of you might be having this same kind of thing. I took like an hour and tried to cope and tried to like breathe and took a really good cry and had few texts with my friends. So things that also make me anxious are like, before Dad died, I took a picture. I had this like picture wall on the wall, and I took a picture of him off the wall while he was still alive. And then in my head I kind of made it like I killed him because I took the photo off the wall. So I know, like in my head, I know this is not correct and this is ridiculous, but for like I'm having really bad anxiety if I remove something from somewhere. If I take a picture of or whatever. So my battery is also blinking, so I will try to be quick. This video is really like weird and out there, and like I don't know if I got anything through to you. Please, if you have like some of these symptoms, if you have anxiety, panic attacks, anything, please try to get help. Also try to do something that helps you, like listen to music. Some people listen to music, some people go for a walk, some people I know they take a car and they drive if you have driver's license. Some people listen to like YouTube videos with like Graveyard Girl has these slime videos. I don't know if you have seen them. I like to, you know, put things in order. I don't know how to explain it, to make me feel better, or of course talking to someone. Please, if you are feeling like you have to self-harm, please seek help. There is people who can help you. I will link some of the links below for Finnish people where you can find help for anxiety and depression. Always take care of yourself, and remember, someone will always think good things about you. You will always be perfect to someone. Remember, I will always love you guys, and I really want to keep doing these like weird crazy videos, but I kind of wanted to do this because it's something that is part of me and makes me like this person who I am. Thank you for watching. I hope you got something out of it. Thank you so much for being there, and never forget that you are important. Thank you. Bye!